Greetings everybody, this is Rick Elder for Bay Mills Community College, and I'd like to say welcome to week 3 of CS121. This week we're looking at some guided projects that work with some nice letter formatting, and I just want to go through a few highlights for each of the assignments. This week we also do what's called an independent project. And rather than, I don't plan to do all the assignments online, but I certainly want to go through a couple of the key factors. It's very common in business these days that, we talk here about the block letter concept. They don't spend a lot of letters are done without indentation. That's what we're talking about right here. We want to make sure to show you how to use the smart lookup feature down here, as well as to get into the line spacing and paragraph spacing. There's good reasons for that, as well as we want to take a look at some of the backstage view. So I've already done the essential letter for you here. Let me open up the essential letter. This is the essential letter to Miss Cami Speckler. And you see the black paragraph marks here. These are the so-called editing marks. You get those on, they go there. You have to be on the home tab, and up here you just click the backwards looking P, turns them on, turns them off. And those are helpful at times to tell how many lines are between your paragraph. Some people find them irritating, some people don't. It's up to you oftentimes whether you want to work with them on or off, but there are times where they're very helpful to straighten out a paper. And in this paper, as you can see, there's some red squiggle lines through here. Those are misspellings. One difference is I haven't run the spell check feature on this one yet. I'll do that at the end of my little discussion to show you the difference. One small difference between Word 2019 and Office 365. Remember, please, as I mentioned in my previous video, Office 365 is the online subscription service for Office, which gets regular updates. So to get to once you basically you're being asked to turn the editing marks on here, and for the sake of it, we want to take a look at remember how to get back to the backstage view. That is, you just click the File tab over here on the left, File tab, come down to the word Info right here. That automatically opens the backstage view up, albeit that doesn't show you everything that's on the backstage view. To get to open the entire backstage view, scroll down to the bottom where it says, the purple finger there, Show All Properties. Click Open All Properties. You'll see it opens a couple more options up. And we've already covered this before, so I won't dwell on it in great detail. This is where you can put your mouse over these different fill-in fields, and you can type in things like Valley Custom Manufacturing, the name of the company, which is Central Sierra right here. This automatically saves. You don't have to do anything with it, except click your arrow to get out of it and go back to your document here. But the key thing is to remember, show fewer properties or show more properties right down here. Okay, opens and expands it right there. Because when it opens by default, it doesn't show you everything it has. You're going to type in this letter to Mrs. Cami Speckler, working with a blank document, okay? And then you're going to cut and paste some information in, and cutting and pasting it comes from your class website, which is right here on the class website. We go over to right here. It's this document right here, Custom Manufacturing right here. I want to show you a couple quick tricks about this. We'll open this file up. This is the one they want you to fit in here. Download it to my computer. Open my file. And of course, you always have to go through the concept of enable editing. That gives you a chance to be sure you want to bring it into your computer because it's coming from the internet. Click enable editing. There's two easy ways to do this. I think if you get used to using some of the control buttons, this will be quicker. You can certainly go up here to the copy button. You select your document. You can select your document this way. You can come up here and you can copy it, then you can paste it. Or, once you click off it, what you can do is push your put the Control key down, and the A key selects the entire document. Control key C puts it in your clipboard. Remember, please, your clipboard won't show up unless you open this little folder here. There it is right there. That's my clipboard. And as I pointed out last week, it will save 24 items. Already got that one there that I put in earlier. Okay. Here it is. So you got your custom manufacturing here on a blank document. Control N is another good one. Control N brings you a blank document, and just click paste all and puts it right in there. So that's what you're going to want to do with the Cami Speckler letter. Let me close that now. I don't need that anymore for this demonstration. Click Don't Save. I'm working in the cloud, by the way. Okay, close that one out. Now here I have my Cami Speckler letter. I've already cut and pasted this material in here. And I see, you see there are several misspellings here. Let's go ahead and clean up the spelling on this thing. And the big difference I want to point out to you between Word 2019 and Office 365, which are essentially the same thing, is they do use a little difference in terminology now and then. Office 365 uses the word editor. They don't call it spell check anymore. Okay. And Word 2019, they're now calling it proofing. But it means spell check, okay? So if I just click on my editor here, I can run my editor, and it sees, but it gives me it shows I've got 10 misspellings. Let's go see if we can fix our misspellings. And generally, you need to sometimes take a look at it. Manufacturer, we want to fix that. Click efficiently, we'll click that, fix that. Filbert, which is a kind of nut, will fix that. Customers will fix that. We'll fix the ones that need fixing here. And in your spell check, there's probably a few that may not need a fixing. San Francisco, that can just leave that just like that. Click ignore once. No, Francisco, there's supposed to be an O on this one. I did fix San Francisco. Good. Companies. Change that. That's supposed to be in the plural. They do give you a grammar checking feature here. The grammar looks for commas and semicolons, that kind of thing. It's very accurate. I would go with it. If they want to have a comma between the left and new personnel, go ahead and click a comma there. And sometimes you got to take a look at here. I expect what they want. It's unusual. I would not recommend using a contraction in a business letter. But then, no, to make this work, like will, that puts in the will. I expect we'll see some inflation, and I guess they want to talk a little more friendly. And then we get down to you see the clarity is clear. Clarity is declared fine. Conciseness is declared fine. There's two things it doesn't like as far as formality. Let's see what they are. Let's click on formality. It doesn't like the will. They want to make it we will. That would be my recommendation. I'll make it we will. And they can see what they're doing is getting rid of contractions here. Contractions are generally not used in business letters. So let's clean it all up. It tells me now that it's all done. I click OK. And I can see I have a check mark here, so that's good to go. That should satisfy most English teachers in the world, and it would also look good and professional for a nice business letter. So we've cleaned that up there. I do want to go back and just mention briefly about using the dialog box launcher here. Like in this one here, they have you select Central Sierra Insurance. So you always got to select it first. Click on the font launcher box. And you can see here now what I've done with it. I changed my font size to 10. I've changed it to bold. And I've changed it to small caps. If I was to change this to say all caps, so let's watch what happens. It would go, suddenly it becomes all caps. That's not what we want. Undo will fix that for me right there. Then they want you to just bold out custom manufacturing there. Go ahead and put this salutation in here. And please, the reason in business letters you need 4 spaces here so that you have room for the person to enter sincerely. And I need one more there. And sincerely, oopsie. And then that gives a person the room to sign their name, okay? And that would give the person room to sign their name. This is Jeannie Owens, Vice President, Central Sierra. And remember, please, your editing initials. I've already done this and fixed this right here is you mouse under it, that turns that little blue line on, and you get the autocorrect options, okay? And that brings that into a lowercase. You want to keep your initials in lowercase. And it takes care of what we need to know for Cami Speckler and the first letter there. Now let's take a look in a minute, and we'll take a look now at Pause and Practice 2. And that's this for Pause and Practice 1. And remember, please, to make sure your documents are what you want for grading, be sure the document looks like the picture in the book. And here we have it. That looks like the picture in the book. You produce that. You've got your full points. Good to go. I'm going to stop the video at this point in time. We'll take a look at pause and practice 2 in a minute. Greetings, I'm back. And now let's take a look at Guided Project 1-2. And my plan is to try to get both of this and both these Guided Project 1 and 2 in the same video. This one here works with the document from your ebook that you're going to modify, and I have a finished copy, a relative close to finished copy here to have you take a look at it here. This is it right here. It's called the Online Learning Information Document, and you get to that by going to your course, the course of Cloud naturally, and looking for it right here. It's this one right here. Online Learning 1 right here. Okay. And when you download that, it should, when you get done with it, you should be close to this here. There's a couple key factors in this I want to talk about and make sure you understand them. They are the Format Painter option, as well as the context menu, and the, what do they call it, the exact term for here, getting into the, it's right here. This is the Text Effects and Typography button. I want to make sure you understand that. So let's take a look real quick. The document is relatively typed up. I mean, remember, when you're done with this document, it should all be on one page. When they're talking about the context, to correct spelling by checking the context menu, you look for any of the words that have the squiggled lines on them. In this case, the word red management is spelled wrong. You can certainly fix it by clicking Editor. You're going to come here and right-click on the word management. Right-click on it, and it will come up with what is a suggested correction for management. If you like that, go ahead and just accept it. Click it, and that changes it on the spot. Down here we have some portion of the course meeting that will work here as well. Right-click on that, right-click context menu, and it wants to fix that. All of the course content, it wants to clean up the English a little bit. That's what they're doing right here. This is what we can do. This is when we right-click. It's called the context menu. And you, as the author of the document, can pick and choose to use it or not. I want to make sure you understand about some of the color for it. Find where you find the colors here. The colors for this, like you select a document here, like this online learning thing, and we want to look for the font colors. You right-click this little arrow right to the next to the font color, and the colors are all named for you. They want blue, gray 2, I think it is. So the blue, gray text 2 right here. Just click on that, and that will change the color. Any color that you take a look at in the font body, it will tell you the color code, the color name for it, so to speak. And later on we'll get into more colors in the class where you get down here, and they give you every color in the visual spectrum, but we won't be dealing with that today. Just want to work with the preset custom colors right up here. They're all right here. And remember, please just mouse over and they tell you what they are. We want to take a look at a few more things we can do with the font launcher box. I'm going to select the Where Are We Now with Online Learning, go into my font launcher, click the dialog launcher, and you'll see here some of the options. This is where the advanced button is here too, where you can do things like spread out your text. Let's take a look at the advanced option first. If I want to change the difference between my text, spacing is set normal as the default. Let's say I want to use expanded spacing and I want to expand the spacing by 3 points. I would just type in 3 here, and you should see this expand. Now 13 is a little much. Let's just go with 3. And you'll see the letters spread apart. See how it spreads apart? And there's a lot of use for that. Sometimes it's handy to also shrink the text together. Remember our undo button from last week? I'm going to undo that and just put it back to what it was. That's right there. Select my font launcher box again to get back. That's where your advanced button is. There's lots of things we can do there. That's where it's at. It's hidden, kind of. Then click back on the font tab. And here's our blue-gray for the font color that I want. And then there are all sorts of underline options here, right here. And we can also change the color of our underline by clicking right here. If I change it to red, you'll now see my underlines show up in red. Okay, right there. But that's not what we want for the instructions. We want that blue-gray. So let's go back and select it. Back into my font launcher and go back to that blue-gray color, which is right here. Okay. Puts it back to what it was. Click OK, changes it. Now I really think Format Painter is something people don't appreciate or use enough. So I want the instructions stress it. Once you select your document, double click over here under this, where it says Format Painter. Click it 2 times quickly. turns on a paintbrush, and if I've clicked it right, I didn't hit click it. 1, 2. And it'll turn on this paintbrush. So I click off here. Click it. There. There it is. My paintbrush is on now. And you just draw over the text you want to change. And until you click off it, it will continue to work. You can fix a whole lot of text this way. There are other ways to do it. But this is certainly probably one of the fastest, most convenient ways to do it. Right like that. Click off Format Pan, turn it off. One click turns it off. And then all my text is changed, okay? So that's a real nice thing right there. That's real nice. That's real nice. Up in this heading here, they want us to work with the text effects box. I forgot to do. We'll fix this stuff right here. Click on it, and they want us to. You can get all sorts of different things that are neat with your text right here. They want us to work with a shadow. Click on shadow, and they want us to do offset right. Okay, offset right. You won't see much of a change on a small document, but that's where you get it right there. If I expand the document out quite a bit, now you can see it. Okay, turn off my show hide. And you can see that little bit of shadow there. You won't see it on something smaller. You just won't. But I think that really can dress up your document quite nicely right there. Because you can see the little shadow. And you have all those different options that we have here. Let's take a look at some of the different options and we'll wind up this video. Back to text effects and typography, I can make it these different colors. I can work with I like reflections, quite slick. And you can make it look like it's reflecting over the water, over a puddle of water, that kind of thing. So some of this just takes some experimenting with it to see what we can do. Another reflection, that's kind of slick. But for our assignment for today, we just want to work with the shadow and offset right. Okay. And again, if you mouse over it, you'll see where they're all at. And then you need to go back through it and turn on your Format Painter and fix them all. But I got one step ahead of myself there. Turn on Format Painter, scroll down now. I can scroll it. See how Format Painter turns that like that? And just do these two here and you'll see how that shadow shows up there. I think that's kind of slick. But again, when you bring the thing down to regular font, you probably won't even see it. But bring it down to say 100%. Right there, it's pretty hard to see, but that does your assignment. So I think that completes the essentials for pause and practice, guided practice 1 and 2. And I'm going to wind this video up, and you can check it if you will. It helps you. I hope these help you out a lot. And then I'll do the other assignments have them ready for you sometime on Tuesday. Bye now. This is Rick Elder signing off for Bay Mills College.